Alrighty, we're live. We are live. We are live. We are live. Let me make sure this is everyone can see this. Oh crap. Where we go? Cool. Alrighty, guys. So we are live, aren't we? Let me make sure this is everyone can see this. Yeah. All right, cool. Yes, we are live. Alrighty, guys. Welcome to today's session. Your host, Johnny Howe, coming to you live from down under. And we are going to be having a look at the markets right now. We're going to be looking at the Dow Jones. We're going to be looking at the Nasdaq as well, looking at like the indices. We'll be looking at silver and gold as well and seeing what's going on there. And also we'll be looking at the gold stocks and also silver stocks, because they look like they may be getting ready for something big. You know, is this the start of something big about to happen in the markets? And that's what I'm going to be focusing on in today's session there. So buckle up, guys. It's about to get bumpy. So guys, let's get straight into today's session. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Yeah, we're going to go from there. So what I want to say, guys, is let me start off this first. Guys, do not place your trade based on what you're seeing in this session today. Trading is risky and it can cause substantial financial loss. There is no guarantees of making a profit in the markets. So this is just educational only. And if you haven't done so yet, guys, grab your $7 discounted special to the Grab the Markets by the Balls training course by going to Johns with an S, JOHNS, flashsale.com. And grab you there. So johnsflashsale.com. Let me now go over to the markets. Now, alrighty, guys. So moving forward into the markets. What happened today in the markets? Well, pretty much a nothing day, right? Nothing day in the Dow Jones. Now, if you go back to yesterday's session that I did, and I was saying there's more selling like it happened. Well, that didn't happen today. I was actually expecting a bit more of a selling than what happened today. Pretty much bump, nothing, right? Nothing. It's like, is that it? Is that it? Because I was actually expecting a bit more of a selling period than we got today. So that's really what I want to focus on today. And where are we at? Woo. So, guys, the one thing that we're looking at right now with the Dow Jones is that we're noticing, and when we're focusing on, we can see once again the Dow Jones is simply going sideways through here right now. I was saying yesterday that we need to break this previous low first before we start to see this market coming down. I know the Russell. Where's good old Russell? Oh, where's the Russell? Where's the Russell? Here's the Russell here. All right, so I know the Russell has already started to create a lower low, lower high, breaking past previous lows. So that's starting to show that downward trend through there. But if you, as I was saying to you yesterday, if you saw yesterday, or if you didn't, that's okay. What we need to see is those top indexes, those top indices starting to roll over. Now, the longer this goes sideways here, the more probability that this is building up energy, fuel, to go for another run. And when I bring up my trend lines, you can see what I'm talking about here. Right now, I've got a lot of stuff going on here. So obviously a bit of a double top through here, bit of a support level going on through here. But you can see this trend line coming up through here. We're sort of just in this bit of an apex sort of thing here, aren't we? So if I bring up through there, you can see what I'm talking about through there. It's probably something going on through there instead. As you can see, right, we're sort of squeezing up into this sort of wedge through here on the daily chart for spit it out, John, the Dow Jones. For the Dow Jones. So it's really, as you can see, we're really squeezing up into this little sideways range here, and we're squeezing up. So this overall sideways range still could be a building of a base for a breaking of a high. Now, some people have said when do I think my $29,000 Dow is going to be hit? I don't know if it's definitely going to hit that. But that being said, if we start to get a break above 26,500, then the target for 29,000 is on its way. It's going to be galloping like a horse. And when the break and if the breakout does happen, all right, we need to see a break above first. We need that. To me, that's confirmation. Confirmation is above 26.5. Now we're likely to get to 29. But we need to see that break above this first to see what's happening here. And you can see what's happening right now with the Dow Jones. Once again, you can see how we're just sort of just stuck in this overall triangle pattern through here right now, and what's going on with this market right now. So we need to see a break above that first. So it's really hard to say right now because we are making some sort of a double top, but we haven't broken a low yet. So right now, as I speak, the buyers are still in control. Say it with me. The buyers are still in control. Say it with me one more time. The buyers are still in control. What does that mean? That means if you're thinking that this is definitely going to be a top in the markets and we are definitely going to see some downside, you are betting against the market. And people say, the market, blah, blah, blah. That's the only thing we can rely on, guys, is the charts, right? So the charts itself, and we only can rely on the charts and what's going on with the market there. So that's what's happening right now on the Dow Jones. But when we go to the S&P, S&P. When we look at the S&P, right, we're doing sort of the same thing. But what are we doing here? We're just sort of like nothing, right? Absolutely nothing. And if I bring up a bit of a trend line, you can see what I'm looking at through there. Something like that is happening. Actually, let me see if I can. Is there any other? It's probably more through there, isn't it, than anything else? It's probably through there. It's not really. It's pretty steep, actually. It's a pretty steep movement. So it'll be really interesting to see what's going to happen through here. I do see this. I still do see this thing. Even if it's going to hold here, that I still see this thing even just going sideways for a bit, allowing the moving average to catch up. And when the moving average catches up, that means time has caught up, and now it's getting ready to go for another run again. But say it with me, guys. Who's still in control right now? Buyers, right? Until the overall buyers start to break below this low through here, the buyers are still what? Raising their prices. And that means the buyers are still in control right now. And if you're trying to think that you're smarter than the market by saying this is definitely a top and this definitely is going to go down, then you can't do that, right? Because no one knows what's going to happen. We need to let the market tell us what's going on, and then we can flow with that. All right. So it's so important that we look at this market through here, and we can see that that's what's happening through there. Flow with the market. What I mean flow with the market is that right now, if you're trying to say this is a top, it's not a top right now because the market is not saying so. We need at least a break below this low here before we can ever start to see any decent side of downside coming through here. So we may just go sideways before we start to see a break up out of this. Remember, if you think the market cannot do something, it's probably going to do that thing that you think it can't do, right? And also the Nasdaq as well too. What's going on with the Nasdaq? Nasdaq's sort of the same thing, right? We have this very long-term trend line coming up through here. What resistance through there? We don't really need that. Who cares for that one? But what's happened through here? We can see, right? We can see how to rise up. We've had a significant high low. So really, for the overall trend to change, we need to close below this level through here. So I closed below this level through here, but as you can see too, right, we actually had this was a significant level of resistance and support through. It's actually holding there right now, so which is really interesting. I'm not really worried about that, but we have a low through here, right? We have a higher low through here, and now the market's running up, making a higher high. This still could be what? Say it with me, another higher low. And the thing is, guys, it's not too far away from the moving average. Now we may get a little bit more size movement, and the moving average may start to catch up, which is known as time and price. Because as you know, when the market gets too far away, it catches up to the moving average. So we could now be getting ready to have just a little bit of sideways movement. And as long as we continue making higher lows, the buyers are in control and we're likely to keep going up from there. So please do not try and fight this market. Do not try and think that you know what's definitely going to happen in this market, because you don't. And what we need to do is we need to stick to what the overall trend is saying through there. All right. So don't fight this market. Don't fight the market. Don't fight the market. Alrighty, guys. If you haven't done so yet, go down to johnsflashsale.com, johnsflashsale.com to grab your $7 discounted price for the trading course. Let's move on now to silver and gold. Really interesting happening with silver and gold. So what's happening here with silver and gold, right? We're still slowly crawling up, aren't we? We're still not out of this woodworks yet. And the thing that we're looking at here, when we're looking at bring this over here like that. There we go. The thing we're looking at here right now is like, is this going to be a bear flag where we confirm the breakdown, or is this going to continue up from here? And are we likely to keep rallying right back up towards new highs? That's going to be the question through there. And as you can see, right, if you look at my longer term weekly chart, let me bring this chart up through here. If you see my longer term weekly chart, bring this one up here, you can see that this trend line here is definitely what's actually holding it through here. So we could actually we either confirm a breakdown or it continues to rally up through here. And if that's the case, then this could be the start of something big. This could be the start of something big in the markets, which means gold, because once gold breaks above here, this thing could be compressing up, and we could start to see a big, big, big move in these markets from here. Really, really, really interesting to see what's happening through there. You can see this big move down through here, guys, and around that 1350 there. And so this could be the start of something big. For the last couple of days, for the last couple of sessions I've done, I've been saying this could actually be some sort of bear flag, and we can start to see a breakdown, but we need to see confirmation first. The confirmation would be to obviously see a break below 1280. But if it doesn't, then we're just likely to continue rolling up from there. So it's a bit of a sticky situation from where we are right now. But the overall market right now has had a run up, come back down, and the overall gold has made a high low through here. So really, really, really interesting to see what's going on through there. If I then have a look at silver as well, silver once again is also doing the same thing. Still got that bear flag formation there, but once again, we need that confirmation. Are we going to break down out of this, or are we going to break up and then go for another run and try to challenge back up to the 1625 level? Really interesting times what's happening right now. And there's been a lot of flight to safety lately, so maybe that's going to keep gold and silver continuing to rally from here. So wherever the breakout is, guys, that's where it's likely to run to. And that's the same with, once again, that's the same with gold as well too. Now, we have been now, if you're looking at this in this sort of flag formation, we have been now rallying up quite a fair bit of time to the upside. So the more time it goes through this here, the more chance of it actually then continuing up from there. So that's what we're looking at there now, guys, with the Dow Jones. And that's what we're seeing through there with the market itself. And so that's what we want to be focused on here, right? We have a high low. This could be as a high low, lower low. It could be going through a bit of a time phase as well too. That's what could be happening right now. And by looking at this weekly chart through here, if we go through this time phase, it might be going through a bit of a time phase, which means no one's in control. And then we could be getting ready to break up and out of this here. So again, this could be the start of something big with that. And moving on now to the GDX and the GDXJ. Sort of same thing, but what's happening to this here now? We're actually getting a break back up out of this here. So by looking at this here right now, let's actually delete this off here. But look at this here. We came down, bounced off this trend line, and now we're getting a break up and out. I'm telling you right now, guys, this looks like GDX does look like it now wants to start to climb its way back up. We do have a little bit of we've got a little bit of resistance through there, don't we? But this looks now it wants to start to this spit it out, John. The GDX looks like it's about to break above where it is right now. And so therefore we're still creating this movement up, and now we're breaking up. And so therefore, guys, this does look like it now wants to start running to the 25 level and moving on to the GDXJ. Sort of the same thing as well too, right? Higher low, higher low. We've got a bit of a lower low through here. And it looks like it wants to start to climb up through here. It's not as strong. I'm not getting as strength as a stronger of an indication than the GDX. But what we are looking at on this weekly chart, and this is the weekly chart here, is what I do say is we definitely have confirmed this false breakout through here. And we came down to that false breakout level, right, which was here. Actually, I moved it up a little bit more. So I can make it bounce off that line there. I fudged the line. So we can see how this market ran up, came back down. And this weekly chart, right, we had a breakdown. This is a whole false breakout through here. And now we're getting a break back up. We came back down, bounced off this level, now continuing back up. This now has a pretty good chance because it has continued up. We haven't had a rollover. This has now a pretty good chance of getting back up to, say, to 37 now. We've got a little bit of resistance where we are right now, but the overall trend is pretty strong here. So probably a 37 in the GDX there. Looking onto the SIL, same sort of thing as well too, right? We came down, really finding a lot of support through here, but we're definitely got above this resistance level through here on the weekly chart. And now we're starting to steeply climb up. We're now starting to get a more of a, you can see the last 4 bars, we're starting to get a bit more of a vertical move up than we have in the last couple of weeks. So there's a lot of strength coming into the SIL, and also the SILJ, not yet. But if we start to break above 950 on the SILJ, then we could see a really, really nice move, possibly back up to that $12 mark. Maybe around 1150. 1150 would be the level there. If we start to break above this level through here. So there seems to be now a lot of strength in the last couple of days coming back into these metals. And so that's where the market looks like it may be trying to run to, which is really, really, really interesting. Moving on now through to the say looking at oil and we'll look at oil. Oil had a big drop down through here, and now we're having a rally back up through here. And so by looking at oil right now, we had a higher low, and where we are right now. But I wouldn't be too surprised if we did start to see some sort of close below here and some sort of drop in the in oil coming soon, because we had this nice drop back down and a nice rally back up. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see a lower high through here. And over the next few weeks, we start to roll over there. And the UUP. UUP hasn't changed either as well too, which simply means we're still compressing up into this triangle pattern. And once it breaks, as we're squeezing up, we're creating what? Higher low through here. We've got a higher low through here. Once it breaks this level through and we get above 2650, it is on like Donkey Kong. And if it's going to have any correlation to the silver and gold market, then look out below for silver and gold, because if that's going to have a way down on gold, then that's what's happening in the markets right now. So interesting times. But just remember, what I went through there was the indexes, the major things, and so on and so forth. So if I went through something on the Dow Jones just recently, I said this here, that does not correlate to what an individual stock is going to do. Okay, the Dow Jones might not do nothing, and then we have many up days, many down days, and so on and so forth. You want to trade the individual stocks based on the individual stocks, nothing else. All right, you want to trade the individual stocks based on the individual stocks, which means just because you think the Dow Jones is going to do something, doesn't mean that now an individual stock is going to do something, which is really, really, really important, because a lot of people think, oh, well, the Dow Jones is going to go down, so therefore all stocks are going to go down. That's not necessarily the case, right? Because you see here, there's actually, there was a lot of stocks that were actually, in the 2 and 3% range on the S&P 500 today. So that's what we're looking at there, guys. As I said before, in this last sort of week, especially with the metals, you want to wait for the confirmation. Are we going to get, like for Dow Jones? Are we going to close? Are we going to get a close below this low through here? If so, that's the market telling us we're now changing trend. And if we don't, then we're likely to hold through here, and then we're now likely to continue up. So that's what I'm seeing through there, guys. In the overall markets today. If you have any questions, guys, put them in the chat box below. Or put it, if you have any questions, put them in the chat box now, guys, and we can go from there. But at the end of the day, guys, when you're viewing these markets, it's all about waiting for the market to tell you the confirmation, right? Which means breaking of new low of this here. And the thing is, like when you're reading the daily chart, 1 or 2 or 3 days can start to add a different picture to what the market's telling you. And then another couple of days could add another different picture. And so it's our job to flow with the market and not what we think, hope, or fear is going to happen in the market. So, but with that gold chart there, guys, with that gold chart there, if we do hold here for a bit, it looks like it's gone through a bit of a time phase. It's not really up, it's not really down, it's just overall sideways. If we do hold here and we continue this sideways, then the something big, we could start to see quite a nice move up from here with gold here. So, so we're starting to see that there now, guys. As I said before, just every day we need to flow like water with the markets. Flow like water. Ronnie, can I look at BG? Are you looking to buy it, Ronnie? Is that what you're looking to do? I definitely see there's a lot of support levels through where we are right now. Through this level here and through this level here. So it's probably, we may get a little bit more downside to come out of this here. But it looks like even if we do get a little bit more downside out of this, it does look like it's getting close to a lot of significant support levels through there. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we started to see maybe another one big flush down and then a pause there for a while. It doesn't mean that's going to change in trend, but because we've been going down for quite some time, we may get the market. What it likes to do is get a bit of a flush down, and then that's sort of a bit of an end of trend indicator. So yeah, so I hope that makes sense. What about JNUG? Yeah, the JNUG is still hovering around those levels there. So JNUG's a bit of a tricky one. We need to get above $13 for JNUG to start to really change its overall tune here. So we're still getting these major lower highs. So we're still stuck in this. Is this going to be some sort of major end of trend here, or is it not? So that's, yeah, by looking at JNUG there, we're not getting any clear sign of a complete change of trend yet. But that's what we're seeing through there in the markets. So, and we want to wait for confirmation, guys. This is one thing that a lot of people say. It's like, oh, you don't know what's going to happen. It's like, no one's going to happen. But what we can do is we can wait for the market to tell us what's going to happen. That's why I've been saying with silver and gold, and even the stock markets, is that we need to see, if we see these sort of things happen in the markets, that's what it means. So like once again with silver and gold, if we get a close below 1280, then that's what's probably going to get small downside. And if we don't, then yeah. So I hope that makes sense. Apple. Yeah, Apple's had a very strong run, hasn't it? Apple's had a very strong run. I definitely wouldn't want to be buying it now because it's been going up for quite some time. Isn't that a quinky dink? I think not. Look where it stopped, right there, dead cold on that line. So because we created this major lower low here on Apple, this may be getting ready for a bit more downside to come. We've got a bit of a short-term rally out of this thing here. So, but the short-term rally has been actually quite strong out of this here. So really, really interesting. No problems, Ronnie. No problem. Hi, John. Would you say that a buy on NIO at $5.35 would be exactly like catching a falling knife or a good risk to reward play? Bo, it shouldn't be a play for you. It should be, this meets my trading setup, so therefore I'm taking it. This meets my trading setup, and therefore I'm taking it. It's not. So if you have to ask me, you should never play the market. You should trade the market based on a setup. So NIO. No problem, Caesar. If you're trying to buy NIO right now, you're doing both something that I'd say never try to do in the market, which is try to get it, you know. never try and buy tops and bottoms. Never try to get in, never try to pick a top or bottom in the markets. Never try to pick a top in the bottom of the markets because it just never works out that way. So yeah, you may be right now, but this NIO may be going to zero, Bo. Like this thing may end up going completely, you know, off the market right now because this has done pretty much nothing. Had a bit of a run to $10 and now it's $5. What's the reason you want to try and buy this? Because it's low and because it's at ultra low levels? I'm telling you right now, Bo, if you're asking me where good support is, that's zero. There's a good support down there, and it may get down there too. So definitely catching a falling knife. It's definitely not a good risk reward play ratio. It's definitely, I wouldn't play that at all if you're going to call it that. For me personally, I'd say, okay, does what I'm about to do am I entering a trade based on a setup that I know that works, or am I just, this looks good? And if your answer is the latter, it just looks good, or I feel like it's good, or I think it's good, you might as well give your money to charity. Charity. So yeah, I definitely want to. For me personally, there's nothing here that says like the trend's down now. We actually created a new lower low compared to all these lows here. So this thing may be going down to zero real quick. It may not. So there we go, guys. Overall, if we're looking at the overall markets right now, guys, we can see the Dow Jones and the S&P are still holding strong where we are right now. We didn't get that sell-off that I actually thought we'd get a lot more of a sell-off in the markets today than we did, but we didn't, and that shows how strong the market is still right now. We're still holding strong where we are right now in the markets on the Dow Jones and the S&P. So this may be going sideways for a little bit longer before it starts to continue up and we start to make new highs again. That may be the thing. Moving on now to the silver and gold markets, is that gold is starting to get a bit more of a bullish shine because the longer this thing stays up, the longer it's likely to turn into more of a continuation formation, continuing the overall trend, than a bit of a pause or something like that. So gold is the one that is like is this the start of something big? This actually could be where we're getting a breakout. Same with the GDX as well too. GDX is now breaking out, so I see a lot more upside happening with the GDX. But again, we're still in that sideways range there. So once we start to break out of this here, we can start to see quite a nice trend, especially on that gold. I think everyone knows that, but once it does start to happen, and I think people are starting to do that right now. They're starting to go. You're starting to see that with all the. Yeah, I won't go into all the details and stuff out there, but the yield curves and all that sort of stuff. But that's what's happening right now in the markets, guys. And so we just need to wait. We never know exactly what's going to happen. No one does. But for me personally, it's just waiting. And that's why I've always said, guys, with gold, if we get a close below 1280, then we're going to see a nice drop from there because that's the market telling us. And if we don't, then if we do get a break up and out, then we're likely to see a new high coming in the metals. Same with silver as well too. Silver is actually still developing this bear flag formation through here right now. So it'd be really interesting to see which way this is going to break. So I hope that helps you out today, guys. Is something big about to happen? Was this the start of something big? That could be the thing that we're looking at right now with GDX and also the actual gold market itself as well too. Guys, if you haven't done so, go down to johnsflashsale.com to get your discounted $7 Grab the Markets by the Balls trading course. johnsflashsale.com. And I will, guys, catch you later on. See you guys.